Luxurious Fleet, welcome back to the channel. Acura has just teased the entire interior of their upcoming MDX. New flagship is what they're calling it. It will be fully unveiled on Wednesday, October the 14th, but they let this out a little bit ahead of time just to generate a little bit of hype and buzz. So in today's video, we're going to break down the video that they gave us and the images, and I'll give you guys my take on what's going on with this new MDX. Over at the Acura newsroom, striking new MDX interior design teased ahead of global debut. And they used a lot of bright LED lights, you know, the contrast blue with the bright red. Heading over to YouTube, we're going to watch this together and stop at multiple points here. Okay, so the speakers, they are having the new ELS top tier speaker system in there, over 20 speakers. Pretty ridiculous, but I think they're going to have two tiers of ELS system. The top of the line, the luxury, whatever they plan to call it, it's going to be, I guess, their advanced package. I think that's their top of the line. That's probably going to have the top tier ELS, and maybe the A spec will have a tier below ELS audio. And guys, look at that. I don't know if you guys caught that real quick. So they're supposed to be unveiling a whole bunch of interior lighting, ambient lighting for this. Look how the ambient lighting plays on the speaker. Guys, that's not just a reflection going on. I believe that's LEDs inside the speaker. That's crazy. That's pretty darn cool. So more speaker vents there. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back one bit. All right, so same touchpad that we have currently. I can't wait to tell you my thoughts on the touchpad because I'm reviewing a 2021 Acura RDX A-Spec right now. Shift by wires, the same. Looks like they put the nice little Acura logo here in the middle of the drive selector knob, which I don't see that on the current Acuras, or I should say the current RDX anyways. Looks like they shifted the volume knob down here and then the seek, or I should say, yeah, I think it's seek or skip ahead button right there. Now, they're going to have a first time ever fully digital instrument cluster behind the steering wheel. Currently in the RDX, the TLX, we have two physical gauges, which I'm fine with. I don't need to have fully digital, but since this is a flagship, they're swinging for the fences here, swinging for Lexus if you're asking me. So definitely digital speedometer. This is going to have all of your safety, radar, cruise control, lane keep assist, tachometer here on the left, fuel gauge down here on the right. If you look here, it'll give you an idea of range. Full tank of gas, you should be getting about 400 miles of range in the new MDX. Little compass, and I'm sure this is completely customizable. Over here, of course, this would be your drive modes, but it's looking pretty snazzy. And then into sport mode, just like it does in Lexus vehicles, when you twist it to sport mode, it's going to change the gauge cluster to represent a more aggressive or a softer driving mode. Steering wheel looks actually a step up from the current RDX that I'm in right now. I think they're calling it French stitching. Don't know exactly what that entails, but it's going to have even a higher grade of materials in this vehicle. Ventilated seats, heated seats, and then auto seats. Nothing out of the blue there. This looks to be about the same size of screen that we see in the RDX. I can't confirm that yet. Wait for, I guess, Wednesday for me to confirm that. But look at this. This is massaging seats. I did not expect Acura to put massaging seats in their vehicle. That's nuts. Massage intensity as well. So a lot, and there's different types of massaging motions here, which is, you don't see that even in, like, let's say the only Lexus you can get massaging seats in is the LS, and that's not a cheap car. This isn't going to be a cheap car either, but you should be able to get massaging seats for well under $80,000, $90,000 like we see in the LS. The seats, we'll dive into more of the seats here in a little bit once we get to the still images. If we go back just a little bit, this lets you know that there is captain's chairs, which I don't believe there's been captain's chairs. There's a nice close-up on the logo on the drive selector right there. That's pretty cool, and it lights up very nicely. Going back to, okay, so you can customize the gauge here. You can see the G meter, no big deal. But here's the captain's chairs. Again, speakers, steering wheel. Okay, we've kind of seen it all at this point. We're going to pause right here. Here's the complete layout of the vehicle. Definitely looks a little bit wider than the current RDX. But that steering wheel, if you guys look on the edge here, this might be a glossy black on the very edge or a type of wood on the steering wheel. I would prefer wood instead of black plastic. And then a nice leather interior, which looks pretty badass if you ask me. Okay, looking at the still images, guys, these are some of the nicest looking seats I've ever seen. The stitching, the bolstering, and I would expect these bolsters to be customizable. Pretty cool, and I would also expect them to be customizable to, or I should say locked into memory settings to the seats. All right, fingers crossed on that. Fingers crossed. Now, cup holders here, we have, it almost looks like what we have here is a shift knob, but we know it's shift by button in Acura. So looking in the back, this middle seat, okay, so it is kind of captain's chairs, but this folds back. I wonder if we can get a different image on it. Okay, so going to here, here's your phone charger. This looks like just a resting place for your hand while you're playing around with the touchpad. And no more images of that captain's chairs. I just went through all the images. So I'm not quite sure if this is going to have your controls for the heated outboard seats. That would be my guess. Maybe climate control on there as well, but that's going to take up an entire seat. But it looks like it may not have a dedicated captain's chairs in this vehicle. It looks like that middle seat folds down as a really cush armrest, which makes a lot of sense to me. I've never been a big fan of captain's chairs in vehicles. And if you could remove this, let's say you wanted to remove this, you could do that, but then you lose your armrests. So it'll be interesting to see how Acura configures that folding down center seat / armrest. And guys, you can see the detail even covers into the third row there. I'm just excited to see how much legroom as well. I can't wait for that information to drop on the 14th. And you can just see how large that panoramic sunroof is too, which it's going to be, should be standard because it's standard on the RDX. I would expect it to also be standard on the MDX. And guys, if you made it this far into the video, smash the like button. Subscribe if you want to see my take on the full unveil on October 14th. And guys, keep in mind, this is still a prototype. That doesn't look like a prototype to me at all. We saw Infiniti with the QX60 monograph. That's a prototype. They didn't even show the interior. This is about as close as to a production vehicle than you're going to get. Like, I just don't know why it's still a prototype. So maybe we get some availability on the 14th. I'm not getting my hopes up. That's what I would like to see. I'd like for them to hype up and show the Type S variant. That'd be really nice. Maybe A spec as well. I don't think they're going to go too much into pricing. I think they're going to say, you know, ballpark for certain packages. Maybe go into that, but I don't think they're going to get into official pricing. More of a ballpark, like you can have all this for under 65K or something like that. We'll see. But we know it's going to have the 3-liter turbo in the Type S. I don't see that Type S engine making it into any other MDX. I think the base engine has to be the 4-cylinder, the 2-liter, 272 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque like we see in the RDX, like we see in the TLX. That's just kind of Honda and Acura's bread and butter, that engine right now. But that Type S can't come soon enough with the 355 horsepower, 354 pound-feet of torque. Guys, this is taking a shot right at Lexus, and I'll definitely dive more into my thoughts. Like, Lexus really has to step up their game. The RDX has already taken it to the Lexus NX, even though that vehicle's still doing well. Okay, and then this new MDX is almost in a different league compared to the current RX. The current RX, they've updated it in 2020 to get Apple CarPlay, touchscreen, etc. But a lot of the things in the car are still outdated. That car's not. It's still one of the best vehicles in the segment, and sales support that. But it's going to feel really antiquated when this Acura comes out, as well as the GV80, even though most people don't even know what the GV80 is, but maybe do a little Google search for it. And then by the time the QX60 comes out, because that's supposed to be coming out summer of 2021, guys, we're going to have some really big competition from the Japanese, and you throw Korea in there, the luxury brands. And Lexus is going to be kind of the oldest model. Okay, take that in for a second. That's not the first time that's happened, but this is Lexus's bread and butter segment. and they might be giving up some ground here. So can't wait to see you guys in the comments. Do you think this new MDX is going to be threatening the future RX and maybe the future, what is it called, the TX? Yeah, the TX that Lexus has trademarked, which I feel like that would be the 3-row SUV to take on this MDX head to head, because the 3-row, the RX 350L, the 450H Plus, or sorry, the 450HL, that does not even come close to satisfying people who need that 3-row usability. RXL doesn't do it. It's not big enough. So guys, I'll see you in the comments. As always, very short video today. Want to throw that out. Stay tuned for my unveil on October 14th. We'll go over everything about the new MDX that Acura shares with me, and I'll be getting it ahead of time. So I'll have a very, very nice video for you guys when the embargo lifts on a Wednesday. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys in the next video, which is tomorrow. No big deal. See you guys. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.